Mhm.
Okay?
Where was I born?
Mm-hmm.
Montrose, Pennsylvania. Lots of things I think about, lots of things I've done. They're experiences. I don't know if they're stories that interest other people. They interest me. I was, one story might interest you. I grew up in a farm community, and as kids we used to play around in barns a lot. And I can remember haying season doesn't mean anything to you, but when they cut hay and they used to have it on, bring it in on big wagons and so forth, and they load the hay and kind of a pitchfork, put it on pulleys and take it up into the barn. And some of the barns had a cupola on top, sort of little building on top of the barn. And I remember once several of us kids got up there, but I had a little problem because I'd gotten a little bicycle accident and a girl ran over my arm and broke it. So I was running around doing pretty much normal, but I had my arm in a sling. And I remember one time in that situation, we decided to climb up in the cupola in the barn, in the hayloft. And that was fine. Climbing up was fine, but coming down was a problem. It was scary because it's quite a drop, and I couldn't hang with both arms. And with one hand, you just fell to the sideways, so you had no control. And I remember that because it was it was kind of a scary thing to get out of there, not to get up there, but to get out of there. I finally dropped. It was all right, but I remembered it as a scary moment in of the kind of play we did when I was a kid. Huh. That'd be a hard question to answer. I have quite a lot of memories, but I think maybe going out with my mother and my grandmother in the field to pick blackberries. That's a weird one, huh?
Mm.
It really was in the field. And you had to be careful to get scratched from the bushes and so forth. They're wild bushes. And I like that memory. Now with my walking, I can't walk vigorously like I used to. I like to walk a lot more than I do. I can't run. I'd fall on my face if I tried. I used to play basketball a lot. I can't do that now. Take too much jumping around. What else? Lots of things. Only modestly, because I always expected that. I saw it in my grandparents as they got older and lived with them. One set of them anyway. And in our town, I saw lots of people getting older. It wasn't as isolated as we are now most of the time. I knew most of the people in town. It wasn't a big deal, but they were getting older. Some of them couldn't do what they used to do. A lot of them got sort of ornery when they got older about kids flipping around and so forth. That's a problem. And not a problem. Yeah, I say it's not a problem with me. I don't think it is. But I don't like too much activity too much of the time. As a kid, I was in our town, Springville, when we lived there. I was the youngest of the boys in town. And I was hung in there, but I was usually often being pushed into a disadvantaged position. I'd be the last one to go to bat and stuff like that. So I have a clear memory of playing with a group. I usually was not very satisfactory because I was the smallest, the youngest, and other guys ran ahead. But I played one-on-one with anybody great, no matter which age. But in the group, I was low man on the totem pole because that's the way it was in town. I was the youngest and the smallest. Is that what you're looking for? Gardening is one thing I do for fun. Barbershop's another thing I do for fun. Although I just quit the one I've been in for many years. And I may get back to the Philadelphia chapter if we don't get our quartet back together. So singing is one thing I do for fun. Gardening is one thing I do for reading. I do a lot of reading for fun.
To a lady in our apartment house. She very kindly gave me piano lessons, and then she got me into a music school. And I frankly think she helped pay for it because my parents would never spend that much money. And my parents would never give me a piano until they knew I would practice. So I practiced on a kitchen table where they drew the keyboard, and I practiced like that for 2 weeks, and I showed them I meant it. And then we were donated a piano by somebody too. So I was lucky. Okay, my favorite piece, Rustle of Spring. I won't play it all, but some of it.